let's go on to the Carolina Panthers.
The Panthers talk real quick.
The Bryce Young era begins. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and P.J. Walker all took turns at quarterback last season for Carolina. They make the big trade up to number 1 in the draft with the Bears, and they get Bryce Young, the quarterback that I really like, Jack really hates, Ziggy really likes, coming out of Alabama. Frank Reich takes over as head coach, and a lot of moving parts on offense right now. DJ Moore, out the door. He was part of that Bears trade. Christian McCaffrey is not there anymore. He's in San Francisco. They bring in Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, some older receivers who have been having injury issues the past few years. Hayden Hurst comes in at tight end. Miles Sanders, he had an unbelievable year. Like, I don't think people... He ran for 1,419 yards last year. I don't think people realize just how great Miles Sanders was. You kind of got masked by Jalen Hurts and the Eagles run, but he was amazing. I don't think he'll be able to carry that over, especially given how great the Eagles' offensive line was. I still think he's very good, but like that's a nice signing. And the offensive line took a big jump last year from one of the worst in the league to, by the end of the season, maybe the top 10 to 15 offensive line in the league. So that's what Bryce Young takes in, or will have during his rookie season. The first question I have on the Panthers is, do you think that that's enough for Bryce? Again, like we said, weak NFC South, but are Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, Miles Sanders, is that enough from the skill position standpoint for Bryce to be successful, do you think?
Well, I don't like Bryce Young, period.
Oh, yeah.
And you know that. But if Bryce Young's going to be any good, I think that is enough, because this division and the defenses he will see are not that good. I think he has 2 decent receivers. I don't like Adam Thielen's age, but 2 decent receivers. Sanders is a decent running back when healthy. So I would say, because of a very non-competitive division, who is going to play 6 times, it probably is enough to do something in the NFC South, but not beyond that. Yeah.
Okay. Ziggy, what do you think? Do you like... I know you like Bryce. Do you like what he has around him right now?
It's an interesting... The Panthers, the way they handled their receiving situation is interesting, because you can argue, I think, pretty credibly that their receiving room overall improved despite DJ Moore leaving. Because besides DJ Moore, they had nobody last year, right? They had like Terrace Marshall. They had LaVisca Chenault, right? Like they didn't have anybody. And now, rather than trying to replace DJ Moore with another star, they've sort of gone wide, right? So they're bringing in like Adam Thielen. They brought in Hurst, you said, DJ Chark. Mingo's coming in as a rookie.
Yep.
Like that is not a terrible receiving core, right? That could be league average or slightly below average. So for Bryce Young, I think the stability of having just guys who know how to play receiver in the NFL and not having to rely solely on DJ Moore will work out just fine. The skill position, even though it's not explosive, that's not my concern with the Panthers.
Oh, that's a great tease. What is your concern with the Panthers?
It feels like I'm saying it's about every team in the NFC South. Boy, the defense was terrible last year.
Yeah, they all are.
And again, they made some nice additions, right? They brought in Shai Tuttle, they brought in Von Bell. But again, like everyone else in the NFC South, they need young players like J.C. Horn and Jeremy Chin to actually step up and be good, to live up to their drafts.
Young.
Look, having Chin being good, having Gross Matos out of Penn State be good would have been nice. Like They need someone.
They need someone. So J.C. Horn had a solid year last year. They need someone else in that secondary to step up, because frankly, it's really kind of just been him. Well, Von Bell is a nice addition, like you said, in free agency. Ejiro Evero comes over, new defensive coordinator for them as well. This defense, I think, is about average or a little below average in basically all 3 phases of their defense. I do like... Brian Burns and Derek Brown. Derek Brown had a great jump last season, breakout campaign for him, and that kind of gets overshadowed by how good Brian Burns is. But there's not a lot on the defensive line other than those 2 guys. And then, frankly, their linebackers can't cover really anybody at all. They Shaq Thompson and Frankie Louvu, great against the run, but 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns allowed in coverage last season. So, yeah, this defense is just fine, an average unit. We'll see what Evero can do, because Denver's defense was phenomenal last year. They was basically the one bright spot, given the offense's complete ineptitude. Is that a word? Ineptitude? I think
it's a word.
Yeah,
and it's very rare that you see defensive coordinators
like
coming off incredible seasons leave for another defensive coordinator job.
Mhm.
Right? The only reason is because Sean Payton wanted to bring in his own guy. Like, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, this defense does have a lot of potential, right? Like Derek Brown, incredible. Brian Burns, if you can just get someone next to him, will have a very good season. Like, there's a lot to look forward to. If the Panthers can put everything together, they'll have a slightly above average defense and an average offense, and that's enough to win the division.
That is enough.
Yeah, I just think the ceiling for the Panthers is so low.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Bryce Young, he's a rookie, he's a small rookie. Let's say he's struggling, which I think he's going to. There's no receivers there where you can really, that can help you out.
I can elevate him.
There's no Stephon Diggs or Jamar Chase or Antonio Brown, guys like that. If he's struggling, who's there? Like Adam Thielen, decent receiver, but old.
I mean, I watched Adam all of last year. Love Adam Thielen. He's losing it. It's
like,
going.
Yeah, like I think they're decent receivers. Like if Bryce Young's decent and they're all decent, it's going to be fine enough for him to get by, as I said before. But if he's going downhill, which a lot of rookie quarterbacks do, and it's normal.
At least at the beginning.
Yeah. There's no guys there to really help him out. Like no X receiver. Like Chark, he's okay.
Go ahead, Ziggy.
I mean, here I think is the question of this team is, do you think they've gotten better or worse? To me, it seems pretty clear they've gotten better. New defensive coordinator, some new weapons, and Bryce Young, who'll be better than the Sam Darnold, PJ Walker carousel. This is a team that was one touchdown away from making the playoffs.
No, they were coming on at the end of last season.
And they played with momentum. They fought extremely hard. Like, this is a tough team that wants to win games. If you think they got better, you've got to consider them a threat.
Yes,
they make the playoffs.
They have the pieces to be a playoff team, given the division.
Yeah.
One more thing about them, though, that I don't think a lot of people have realized, just from the eye test, they kind of have a tough schedule compared to the rest of the division. Just go if you're an NFC South fan, if you're a Panthers fan, go look at your schedule compared to the Saints. I think it's a lot more difficult. I know. I was actually exchanging some DMs with one of the NFC South beat reporters, and I just said to him, I was like, given the schedules that they have and how much more difficult I personally think the Panthers one is, do you think like this team will compete? And he's like, yeah, I do. He said, I think that this is a playoff caliber team given the NFC South.
Yeah, well, look, we saw way back when I think one of Marshall Lynch's better years, when that NFC West winner was 8-8.
Yeah,
right. You're 9-7. This is a division where you can probably go 9-8 or even 8-9 and win it.
I look, by the end of the season, also we'll wrap up the Panthers here. I think Bryce Young by the end of the year could be the best quarterback in the NFC South. I think he could be better than Derek Carr by the end of the year.
Wouldn't be a shocker.
Yeah, that's not like a total shocker.
No, it wouldn't stun everybody, but
like who better than Baker and Carr?
Look, if Bryce Young is the best quarterback in the NFC South at the end of the season, Panthers could be very well could be a playoff team then, because the rest of their team is not that far off. So that's it for me. If he can be the best, yeah, sure.